Worst places to live in South Africa. Let's watch.
Look, I all know we love South Africa Buffett. I all know we adore it, but you gotta admit, there's some pretty horrible places to live in South Africa. There are some places you wouldn't pay me R1,000,000 to live, and I'd be like, nah fam, I'm good. And as someone who hasn't left his province since he was born, I was like, you know what? Let me put my prejudices in and judge these places I've never even visited, let alone lived in South Africa. And if any of these places I mentioned you once lived in or you grew up in, I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And to start off my video, we're gonna talk about Psych! Yeah, I'm kidding, Buffett. I ain't talking about all that. That's just way too depressing to me. Plus, I'm way too unqualified to talk about it.
Don't have the capacity.
Instead, I'm gonna talk about fictional places that are horrible to live in my opinion. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, like, have you ever watched a movie or a television show and think to yourself, you know what? I wouldn't live there even if Jesus himself told me to go there. Like, you'd be asking yourself, why are the characters even staying there? Because this place is horrible, Buffett. And yeah, Buffett, the first piece of media I'm gonna talk about is a TV show that actually inspired me to make this video. When I watched it, I was like, nah, I gotta talk about this in full scale. And that show is Yizo Yizo. And yeah, to all my youngins out there who don't even know what Yizo Yizo is, let me put you on game, Buffett. Yizo Yizo is a television show that aired in 1999 in South Africa, Buffett too, and the cast of the show is amazing. You had like Omenzi Ngubane, Thembi Siyete, Mashak Mavuso, and that's just a small part of the cast. And the show surrounds a group of students who live in a township in Johannesburg and the struggles that they go through, specifically the struggles they go through in their school, which is something I'm gonna talk about thoroughly because the school they went to is Buffett. Nah, their school is horrible place to live in. So yeah, the first incident I'm gonna mention in this story about Fethu in Yizo Yizo is the end of the school term bash. So like boom, it's the end of the term, right? The exams are done, the vibes are vibing, and the kids are happy about it. And because of this, the school decides to throw a bash for them. So I'm like, as a viewer, I'm thinking to myself, there's probably gonna be like dancing and music and maybe a bit of alcohol because like kids are gonna be kids. But nah, these guys they decide to burn and vandalize their own school. But Fethu, their own school, not the principal's car, maybe like, but nah, their own classrooms, they decide to burn them. Like throughout this whole scene, I'm thinking to myself, why would you do this, guys? Public schools in the hood already have no money, like zero, negative, cool, but y'all said, nah, let's make the two minors. And you know the government is slow as fuck when they have to fix these schools. You will graduate before they fix these classrooms. If when people are toying and protesting a cast too, when they vandalize stuff, there's a reason to that. I can actually see it. But nah, y'all were just doing this for fun. And after trashing and vandalizing the school, I'm thinking to myself like, why are y'all gonna learn? Because you need to come back to school in the next term. Like, the logic, where's the sense? Make it make sense, Buffett. Okay, look, maybe I am overreacting and overthinking about this. Like, to anyone in the audience who went to school back in those times, like in the early 2000s, is this how y'all partied? Cause if so, this is insane, Buffett. What's y'all were doing if this is true? Yeah, I wouldn't go leaving the school Buffett at all. And the ringleader, the person who was leading this bash and vandalizing the school, was none other than Papa Action himself. Yeah man, Papa Action is the sole number one reason why I wouldn't go to the school or live in this township Buffett. Bro was acting like a bootleg gangster and a dictator to the school. If bullying was an Olympic sport, bro would have taken the gold, the medal and the bronze in the shit. Bro was a menace. He turned the school into his own personal playground. He was literally a terrorist to these kids. They should have called him Osama bin Action the way he was acting out. Like sometimes bro was bullying these kids over nothing. If you looked at him the wrong way, if you breathe in his general direction, bro, if bro catches you having fun, you were getting these hands. Man, sometimes I feel like he was bullying just for fun. He was doing this for the love of the game and nothing else. Oh, and you best believe he wasn't doing this all alone. We gotta talk about his partner in crime, Chester, the real menace of the show. Cause if Papa Action was the terrorist of the school, Chester was out here terrorizing the whole community, baba. Both him and Chester were literally robbing people in broad daylight, and that's how much disrespect they have for the community. These guys, they didn't care. They didn't care at all. Like, those are the main reasons why I wouldn't live in this township. Cause like, how are you living with these animals? They are literally animals. I gotta give props to Ronnie Yakale and Ernest Msibi for playing these characters so well, cause they made me hate them so much. Shout out to them, bruh. Oh, and if you think bullies like Papa Action and Chester are the only problem in the school, nah, think again, my brother. Think again. Like, the students in the school did not have only to deal with bullies, they also had to deal with corrupt teachers and principals. Like, for example, Principal Mtembu, who was a strict dictator in the school, bro, put the fear of God into these kids because the corporal punishment he was enforcing was crazy, my guy. It was crazy. The kids feared that guy. And when he retired, you would think to yourself, Buffett, it's gonna get better, the school is gonna get better. Nah, his deputy, Mr. Mukwena, is so corrupt. Like, oh my god. Nah, like that guy, Mr. Mukwena, he was so corrupt, bro. He literally got one of the students impregnated and she had to literally drop out. Not only that, he was in debt, and when they made him principal, he wanted to use the school money to pay off his debt. Bro, that is insane. Oh, and the people he owed money were literally the bosses of Chester and Papa Action. This shit really comes in full circle when you think about it. And this guy was the worst. And yeah, me complaining like this, you might think I hate this show. Nah, I love this show. I think it's one of the greatest, man. I love this show. But man, if you told me I had to live in that area, in that school, nah man, I'll literally jump off a building. This show literally shows the black struggles that people had to go through, specifically black people during those times. It still works to this day, but I think it has gotten better. But nah bro, I wouldn't live there, genuinely. Let me stop talking about user because I could spend this whole video just talking about this show because it has a lot of great characters and a lot of horrible characters that like made you not want to go to the universe or live in that place. So let's move on to another one. Hi. And the next one I'm about to talk about is a show that probably most of you don't not even remember. Probably it's a show that you did not even watch. It's a show that aired in SABC 1 for like a short period of time, and that show is Room 9. Okay, pets, for those who don't know what Room 9 is, which is probably my entire audience at this point, it's this television show that aired in SABC 1 which followed the specialized police occult unit force, aka the zombie cops. So these guys basically they investigated natural anomalies that were happening in South Africa. So if you have watched a Supernatural or a show like that, that's basically it. But the show itself is mid. I'm not gonna talk about it a lot because the effects of the show and the premise they were trying to do was way too much for their budget.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
But the premise, the idea of the premise itself is the reason why I wouldn't want to live in this world. Bruh, imagine every story that you've been told in South Africa, from Otigoloshe to Obabama Batagata. Imagine if all those stories were true. And now you got to live in that world. They were not just rumors. They were not just somebody telling you a story to scare you. They were actually true. That Otigoloshe actually exists. I wouldn't live there. I wouldn't live there at all. Like bro, imagine if Pinky existed for real. Because we know how scared I was of that stuff. Like back in my primary school, they used to say there was a Pinky in our toilet. I didn't go to our school's toilets for like a year, bro. A year because I was scared as shit. I was like, nah, bro, this is insane. And then the way people were describing it made me really scared. Now imagine if there was a world where that was actually true, that Pinky actually existed. Nah, I wouldn't go there. And yeah, Pinky wasn't even the worst of my problems back in the day. I remember when people used to scare me and talk about witchcraft stories. Like, we all know that one gogo or one elder person in your community, Kasbafit, who is always suspected of witchcraft. And they said she rides in the back of a baboon, which always perplexed me because a baboon is not that big for someone to ride on top of. But hey, I digress. So that shit scared me because they say if you do something wrong, that gogo will curse you, bruh. She will curse you for real, bruh. In Room 9, all of these things are true. They're not just a rumor or hearsay. They actually happen. And to me, that is scary as hell. I wouldn't lived in that universe. I'd be like, God has cursed me to put me in this type of universe. And in our real world, I don't believe in these things. I don't believe in witchcraft. I don't believe in Tigoloshe. I've never seen a Tigoloshe, so I'm not gonna tell that shit is real. So yeah, that's just me and my opinion. So yeah, I wouldn't live in Room 9 at all. That is the worst place to live in. I'd be like, nah, Bafetu. You gotta deal with taxes, imjol, and everything else. On top of that, I gotta deal with Tigoloshe and Gekko's witchcrafting. Bafetu, nah. Okay, let me transition off from Room 9 and talk about my last two shows that I gotta mention in this video. And that is Isibaya and In the Queen. You see, the reason why I even combine both of these shows is because they have one similar problem that I have a problem with, and that is gun violence. You see, I live in a very gun heavy place. A pretty horrible place, but I love it. It's my hood. But man, these shows take that gun violence into a T. I already live in South Africa. That's my reality. But these shows it goes beyond that. Okay, firstly, I'm going to talk about Isibaya. You see, Isibaya is about these two feuding families, these sexy families, the Zungus and the Dlovos, who are always fighting over power, money, and land, basically. It's like South African's version of a Godfather, if you think about it, but with quantum level beef. And then nyabazi how taxi drivers are, nyabazi how markets are be. Those guys are already disrespectful enough, but you take that and put it in them into spy, you empty it to 100, and that's how the show is. And that's very dangerous for anyone living near them. And the one specific place I wouldn't live in Isibaya, the one place is the Zungu household. I would never live in that household because bro, that house was a permanent war zone. If that house was an Airbnb, the listing would say, beautiful home in the valley, spacious rooms, traditional decor, bullets in every wall. I know, bro. Like every 2 weeks, there are enemies we pulling up with AK-47s. You'll be chilling in your lounge, drinking tea, and then bam, bam, suddenly you're in an action movie you didn't even audition for. Oh, and we can't forget the time they turned Zung, one of the main characters, into Umkov. Umkov Bafetu. You know in how in most shows the worst thing your enemies can do is kill you. Nah, my enemies are Zunga say, nah, that is too simple for this guy. Let's turn him into an undead servant. Imagine waking up and realizing you're a zombie Uber driver for your worst enemy. Nah, bruh, I am out. Look, and the worst thing they done on the show, I will never forgive them. They will never forgive them. They killed my beloved. Oh, my sweet beloved Tande Wafet. My heart was broken. My heart was broken when they shot her. I was like, bruh, why would you do this? I rap you to Tande. You always be loved. Oh man. Okay, look. Hey, let me lock in. Let me stop simping and lock in and finish this video. Hey, okay. The last show I'm going to talk about is the Queen, obviously, Buffett. The Queen is about the Koza family who owns the trucking business, but instead of delivering furniture, they're out here delivering contraband and drugs. And like, their trucking company will be the last place I want to work in, because first of all, the people you'll be working for, your bosses, are absolutely maniacs. Imagine working for Brutus. Oh, Brutus, Buffett. Do you know how crazy that guy is? Secondly, they're selling illegal stuff, cocaine and drugs, Buffett. And like, all the time they're getting shots at in that company, and you always get raided by the police. It's just not a safe environment. There's not enough money in the world you will pay me to work there. Okay, maybe not enough. Like, give me 1 million rands. Maybe I'll work there and get shot. But hey, maybe it'll be worth it. I'm just saying. But yeah, I wouldn't work there. I wouldn't work there at all. That place is crazy. Their characters there are amazing, but nah. That place is crazy. I wouldn't leave or work in their place. So yeah, that's my final thoughts. So yeah, man, that's all I gotta say for now. That's all I gotta say. So if any of you have any movies or series you have watched in your entire life, then you're looking to yourself like, why would they live there? And you wouldn't live there yourself, please mention them in the comments. Tell us in the comments and we will see, baba. And please like, comment, subscribe, buffet too. And as always, thank you all for watching and Tanda.
W video, man. Yo, that was entertaining. Thanks for watching. Oh, the original video is going to be in the description. You can check out the channel. Hey. Thanks for watching. Bye.